Afternoon from wherever you're tuning in. Welcome back, y'all. It's your sis Moon Magic, and welcome to Tea and Tarot, where we shuffle live and check the energies of the collective and vibe with our intuition. I hope everyone had a great holiday break, however you have been spending it. Happy New Year, everybody. Shout out to 2026 being here. I hope everyone is starting their year off right and able to align to the energies that feel the most good to you in this moment. We're going to be hopping into this session today. We're going to be pulling some cards here in a minute and checking in with one another. Let me know down below what is going on in your world. How has your new year been starting off so far? How has been the end of your 2025? Anything that has happened? Any things that you want to share. I'm always love being able to hear from you all what's going on in your world. And part of what I love about these lives and doing the Tea and Tarot is always being able to check in with those who come in and pop on the live, as well as those who share a comment down below. And just get a vibe check real quick and see how we're feeling going into this 2026. For myself, I'm real excited to start the year off with the show on January 18th over at Golden Bear here in Sacramento. It's the official album release party for my album that dropped in September of last year on 9/16 Day called Moving Different. Myself and Madi Bush both released our projects that day and are able to now have our official album release party together, as well as getting to celebrate the 3-year anniversary of the collective SAC 916, which I've gotten to co-coordinate events with Amber King, who is the founder of the collective. And so it's going to be a really fun time. I'm really looking forward to the events, and we also have a culture circle coming up January 8th, and that will be our last culture circle at the Whiskey Tango space. More news to come on that, but definitely save the date for January 8th. That's with our feature Key here in Sacramento. And those are the two main things I'm really excited to start this year off. And other check-ins for your girl over here. I was real excited to finally get to start some new projects, music-wise, getting to write some new projects and record some new projects, and working with some different artists, working with some different producers, artists who I'm producing for, but also producers who are producing for me. And some of that I've been working on during this break, and that's been really fun to kind of see come to fruition. I don't know about y'all, but I woke up yesterday on New Year's Eve and I was like, it's time to clean house. Like, I was cleaning everything and just really went into full-on ritual mode of like cleaning out all the areas of my house and my space that needed some clearing, as well as just kind of grounding into my own personal vision and creative vision and collective vision going into 2026. And so that's been kind of my vibe this week. I'd love to hear how you all are doing. So again, if you haven't shared yet, go ahead and share down below. Let me know what your vibe is going into 2026. Have you been doing any cleaning yourself? Did you get to go out and celebrate? What was the vibes? I ended up not going out, but I was this close to going out. But my vibe got called somewhere different. But sometimes it happens like that, and other times I feel like the New Year's can always be a real exciting time. So yeah, really interested to hear how everyone's doing. I'm gonna check some of the messages. I see Underground Promoter says, hey sis Moon Magic, what's good? It's good to see you here. Drixie says, Moon, how are you? Happy New Year. Glad I can enjoy Tea and Tarot live for once. I'm so glad you're here live. I know a lot of times I see you on the playback. So thank you so much for being here. And shout out to everyone who watched the special edition of Tea and Tarot with Mother Venom that dropped like two weeks ago. We did that one. I took last week off because of the Christmas holiday, but that's still up on the YouTube. All of the former Tea and Tarots will be up on the YouTube, so always go there to that link if you want to see the full Tea and Tarot live experience. Underground Promoter said I started my own music podcast. Shout out to that. Make sure to drop the information here in the chat so I can shout out your podcast. Trixie said I had a chill night with friends. Glad to hear that. That sounds nice. Did anyone do any kind of New Year's resolution lists this year? I have not done one, like an official list. I had a lot more of just like a grounding kind of of my own energy and like conversations with myself and what I'm working on and things I'm actively releasing or, you know, rising to or solidifying over this time period. But I didn't do any lists this year, which is kind of unlike me. Usually I do at least a list or write something kind of down. I see Rob Sparks is up in the building. Welcome, welcome. We will have another guest here for Tea and Tarot Live on January 15th, so save the date for that. I hope y'all enjoyed having a special guest last Tea and Tarot. I really enjoyed getting to have Mother Venom come and speak here on Tea and Tarot and have that open discussion with me, and then getting to pull a tarot card with her live. That was really an incredible experience, and I definitely want to do that again. So I'm inviting another guest. Her name is Courtney Chambers, and she does wellness and skincare and in that kind of realm of things. And our conversation will be on thought hygiene and how to stack, like daily stacking of habits to make all these things we talk about in this kind of woo-woo world to really ground it in and make it practical and realistic for and accessible for all people and all folks, you know, and what it really means when we talk about those things. So I hope y'all will join us for that conversation. Today, we're just going to dive into our regular tea and tarot session. I got all the regular cards here with us. We got our deck. I got my tea. This is Golden Turmeric Honey. And I got my Threads of Fate Oracle deck here. I brought a new, this isn't an Oracle deck. It's a Lenormand deck, which I don't use too often. So we might throw some of this in here. And then I have the Angels, God, and Goddesses deck. And for those who watch on the playback, all these decks are linked down below and on the Amazon storefront as well if you want to check it out or get yourself one of these decks. And I'm also going to go ahead and real quick put up in the chat the website and the link for if you would like to donate. Donations are definitely as you feel called and not mandatory at all. I appreciate y'all just being here, rocking with me, being in the space. But they're always appreciated as I am a full-time artist and help to go a long way. And this is all also in the description boxes down below as well. And if you're starting your new year off and you're looking to be able to do more tarot and experience this on a more one-on-one level or in community, definitely check out the Patreon, which is also linked down below or in my bio on my main hub of Instagram. And that has a monthly subscription where you're able to get a personal reading from me, as well as being able to access the community portal and hub where I put a lot of other goodies in there. There's also some tiers that are specifically just tailored to my music. So for example, the music that I've been working on with this other producer, and we'll be sharing a lot more to come. I will be putting those demos up on the Patreon, and that's a space that's only for the Patreon for the music lover subscription, and they'll be able to hear those demos before they're finalized and all that kind of good stuff, as well as like practice sessions, studio sessions, other things like that. So if you're interested, definitely check that out, and all of it can be found at the website below. I'm going to go check out some of these messages here in the comments. I see Rob Sparks said he watched the final of Stranger Things. Hey, okay. Also keeping a journal to document the new year. How is Stranger Things? I'm so out of the loop when it comes to Stranger Things. Like I feel like I wasn't aware of it as a TV show, unfortunately, until like season 3 or 4. Isn't it pretty far in the seasons? Or am I completely off? I know nothing about Stranger Things. But I have been seeing some people talking about a new season being released. I don't know where they are in that, but hopefully that was good. And is it what is it about? Maybe I gotta hop on this. I need to see where do you watch it at? Is it on Netflix? Is it on what subscriptions you got? And keeping a journal to document the new year. I love that. That's really awesome. Underground Promoter says, hell yeah, it's called Dead Air Radio 01. And my new year resolution is to get my mental health in a stronger way. Love that. All right, y'all. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to start shuffling and pulling and grounding in to just this energy in this moment. I always like to ground in to just be able to help myself and as well as anybody who may be watching this on the playback or in the live to just be able to ground our energy And whatever day we might have had or wherever we might have been, you know, we live very busy lives and have so many external and internal pressures and all the things. It's just a really great open moment to check in with ourselves and to invite that intention to pause and observe and to feel our breath and feel our emotions and feel our internal world. So if you want to join me, I like to put one hand over my heart and one hand over my gut, but really whatever you're feeling in the moment. Give yourself a little hug on your lap. And we're just going to take some deep breaths in and out, in through the nose and out through the mouth. I did bring the sound bowl today, so I'm going to go ahead and use this to help us out. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. And release. Thanking your guides, my guides, and the divine for this space today. Another deep breath in. Asking that this space be protected to be able to bring in these messages for those who are here, and they to be the right messages that make sense to you and give you that clarity and confirmation that you need. Deep breath out. Another deep breath in. And asking for that discernment to know what messages are for you and how they apply to the different aspects of your life. And for those things to come in a good way. And to be open to receiving it. And so it is. Release. All right, if your eyes are closed, you can open up your eyes. All right, we're going to go ahead and jump on in. Let's go ahead and see what are the energies for the day and what is coming out. What is going on this week into the new year. I have a 3 of Cups. And I have a 5 of Swords. So I'm going to give you all the opportunity at these intuitive vibe sessions. As usual, I like to be able to have everyone take a moment to tap into their own intuition. Let me know what you see in the cards. Are there any images, symbols, stories that come to mind? And if you feel comfortable sharing, drop it in the chat here on the live or on the playback. Trusting that the messages that come up for your intuition right now are coming up for a reason. And let me know if there's anything that you see. I want to take a sip of some tea. Ooh. All right, I don't see any here on the live, so I'm going to go ahead and dive in. The first thing I noticed here is the 3 of Cups. So we have 3 women getting together. 3 of Cups can be a card about celebration. It can at times also represent like third-party situations. But with this card, I'm definitely seeing a lot of like get-togethers, community. It's like the spaces and circles that you share with your friends or with other people, whether that be in a workplace, a community space, or your own personal lives, friendships, etc., relationships. So this could be a group of friends, a community group. It could be a group of within your family and so on, as it applies to your situation. And then I see the 5 of Swords here, and the 5 of Swords being like this. The first thing that I initially thought of and heard was about the closing out of the year of the snake. I know there's been a lot of conversations I've seen about that, and going into the year of the horse, which I know that the Chinese New Year is a little bit different than the regular New Year, but there's definitely this feeling of coming to that kind of closure that I'm picking up on this energy, like getting ready, gearing up to like the final leg, so to speak, of the year of the snake, which where is the official New Year, if anyone knows? I'm gonna look it up right now. 2026. When is it? We got February. The beginning of the Lunar New Year is on February 17th, 2026. So yeah, going into this last month of this lunar year before we go into the year of the horse. It feels like a closing out kind of energy that I'm picking up from that Five of Swords here. And also this thing that's been coming up a lot that I was thinking about earlier today is just the radical honesty, especially in spaces where we share with other people, whether that be community or, relationships, friendships, etc. This sense of transparency, I feel what this Five of Swords is calling our attention to. I see Ghetto Fresh Clothing says, I got the Five of Swords card last reading a year ago by my cousin. Oh, okay. Interesting. Maybe it's pulling a reference to something from that reading that you received. So you can maybe recall that if you're feeling invited to, and think about what resonated from that reading or what part of that reading you're thinking about right now. And that could be an additional message for yourself and a highlight that it's bringing forward for you right now in this moment. But I would say, this is a general energy, is giving me this feeling of really having a lot of the spaces that we share with others and the way we navigate those spaces, communication in those spaces, conversations, the way in which, because the swords is all about communication, our words. It's about the way we're thinking. It could be the way we think about community, the way we think about our friend group, maybe the way we think about the relationships or dynamics in our friend group. Those things might be transforming or being highlighted in this moment, or feeling like something that is important to pay attention to for this week and as we're going into this new year. And this also, Three of Cups, doesn't have to be physical people. I also feel like this could be different, like societal, like institutions, even like the way in which our school life and home life and work life interact. Like maybe there's a call or an attention you're playing in your mind, that's you're being put in your mind to pay attention to how you move between those different aspects of your own world, whether that's how you show up in your work life versus your home life versus your friendship group. That might be on your mind at this time period, and really thinking about those types of things where because Five of Swords can be this a withholding of information. But in this way, I feel like it's coming as a way to show some of us are really thinking about how to be more transparent and how to be more honest with this energy of understanding that there might be some withholding that's happening, or withholding from ourselves that has been happening. Maybe it's a transparent conversation with oneself that's been going on when it comes to these relationships and dynamics within our life and within the spaces that we are in. So that's the energy that I'm getting from this right here. I think there's some conversations in the chat. Go to Fresh Clothing said, it was after I got stabbed 6 times. Damn. I don't remember the exact reason for that card, but everything she said was on point. I don't know if you're talking about in real life, but either way, that sounds very like a difficult thing to go through. And definitely just want to honor all the emotions and feelings that might come with that and your experience. And you said, I like your interpretation of the Three of Cups. And thank you. This also, like I said, can represent other people and other situations. It could represent if you feel like someone isn't being transparent. That can definitely be this energy here. If you feel like maybe you've tried to be transparent or honest, or had, certain communication, and it's like for some reason there's just like something there that isn't clicking, that could definitely be a significant of this energy too. Or like I said, it could be on a personal level where maybe you're looking within yourself and asking yourself, how can I better show up in that way in all these spaces to be able to create more transparent and honest dialogue. So definitely the vibes that I'm getting from this card and this week's conversation that's coming through, definitely apply it as you see in your personal life, what aspect of your life, and so on. And let's go ahead and pull for advice cards. All right. Let's see what advice comes through. We have Ace of Pentacles. There's something new coming through this, a new opportunity, a new start, a new venture in some sort of way. I feel like that's a very immediate thing. But I'm going to let you all take a moment to vibe with the card. Let me know what you see. Are those lilacs on the bottom? I feel like those are lilacs, right? I love that I have my computer right here that can just look this bitch. No, there's not lilacs. What are those? The white flowers here. Lilies? Is that what it is? Lilies? I think it's a lily. Kind of looks like a lily, right? Like white lilies. Anyways, these lilies for some reason are really standing out to me, and I know they're this type of flower. I think it's a lily. I know I really like this one. Like the shape of the lilies have always been something I've really been interested in and like when in flowers. And for me, it's always shown up as like things that represent more connected to more youthful energy and more playful energy, I feel is the word that I was looking for. Like more, when like you're a little kid type of energy. This like kind of same innocence, I guess I would say. Ghetto Fresh Clothing says lotus flowers. I don't know if those are lotuses. I think lotuses look a little bit different. But if it makes you think of lotuses, that's definitely significant, especially because lotuses can represent so many things for so many of us, including, fresh beginnings, which I definitely feel like with this card, there's a lot of fresh beginnings and new energy coming through. And an idea of something new that's starting. And look, at the bottom of the deck is the World card, which I feel like is about closing out certain chapters of whatever this energy is, which just goes back to the initial message of what has been kind of coming through in this reading of being a closing out of certain chapters. And I think because, in many cultures as well, you may feel that delay because a lot of different belief systems are that the new year doesn't really start until the Lunar New Year or until the spring. And so you might find during this time period some of those kind of things that are kind of coming to a close being more highlighted and still being kind of like reminiscing or like remnants. Like it hasn't fully left your energy field yet, but it's like we're actively closing out those chapters and preparing for something new to come through. Is the way that this energy is really showing up for me right now, and coming through for the collective as well. And I love that. I love that energy. Okay, let's go ahead and pull an oracle card and see what is coming through for the oracles. Ooh. Yeah, it's definitely giving also, like, you may not be necessarily, like, starting a new project or finishing a project, but it's, like, it's in the process of finishing up. It's in the process of starting. It's in the, like, it's, like, the process to the beginning or the end of something that is important, impactful, and I think there's, like, a focus on this energy of showing me that it may not feel immediate, but it's coming to a close, or it's coming to a beginning, or it's coming to a head, whatever it is. Then we have the card Release, and we have the card Dare to Dream. So I'll give y'all an opportunity to vibe with these oracle cards. Let me know if there's anything that sticks out to y'all. And I'm going to go ahead and read the descriptions for this here. Starting with, let's see which one comes first. Release. Let's do Release first. Okay. It says, releasing is a lot easier than said than done. In fact, we can spend a whole lifetime trying to break free from our limiting beliefs or painful experiences. Sometimes we have an idea of where we want to go, so we compartmentalize and repress the things we believe that are holding us back. But we still want to honor ourselves and our experiences. We just want to give ourselves new options of behavior so we are not stuck within the same old pattern. Spending a moment reflecting what is no longer serving you, what is old, what is stale, and what is taking up space within you. What would you do if these energies didn't take up so much of your space and your energy and time? What other behaviors and beliefs do you wish you possessed? Whew. That hit. Yes. All that right there. Definitely connects to what I was saying earlier about the closing out of chapters and that kind of reflection and moment. Definitely aligns with the new year, and how I'm sure many of us are feeling going into 2026, myself included, and definitely resonating here in the cards and what's showing up. I'm going to go ahead and read this next one, the Dare to Dream, and see what it shows. I always hate how it'd be taking me hecka long sometimes to find this. But I do want to thank you all for being here and being part of the Tea and Tarot space, and continuing to show up for yourselves, continuing to, give time for your intuition, give time for reflection, give time for all those types of things that, I think going into 2026 on a personal level are definitely highlighted for me to lean more into than ever before. So I just want to thank you all for being here. And let's see if this card will come up. There we go. Took a heck of a long time, but there we are. Okay. No dream is too big for you. This card is an invitation to step wildly into your dreams, to visit them often, to ask them what they need from you, and despite what your current circumstances are, and no matter how far away you feel from your dreams, Spirit is telling you otherwise. We often neglect our dreams because we do not know how to attain them, but the process of going after them is a collaboration with the universe. If you show up for them, they will show up for you too. I love this. This is definitely giving, don't talk about it, be about it. And that's definitely been heavy on the mental this week for myself. And definitely I could see in terms of what the energy showing up of closing out chapters and, being able to show up for that process. Because when we do close out chapters, and in general, I think a lot of times we expect to get somewhere and it to just be clean break, done and over with, whatever it is, 2026, I want to feel different, and maybe parts of it you do feel a little bit different, but you're not completely there, wherever there is, right? This is that energy of every day, every moment, every opportunity is a day and moment, an opportunity for us to practice that and to show up for it and to be about it and whatever that may be. And as the Dare to Dream said, it's a collaboration with the universe, and if you show up for them, they will show up for you too. So it feels like a time of just showing up and diving into that process, and recognizing that it's a process, no matter how far away you feel from your dreams or from being where you want to be with that process, or whatever the vision is that you're working towards, is showing up every day and just continuing to cultivate that and collaborate with the universe, the divine, your guides, yourself, your higher wisdom, the community, those around you, so on and so forth. So I love seeing that coming through this reading, especially as we were talking about the closing out of chapters, coming through with these advice cards here. All right, I'm also going to pull, I did say I was going to pull a card from the Mirror Truth deck, which is here. Hold up and see what comes through. And this could just, I know these cards are more very specific, so if it doesn't resonate, do not try to make it resonate. I don't use these decks that often, but I thought, hey, why not bring it over here? Let's see. I just picked it up today before I got on the live. Oh, look, there's a card for the lily. Sorry, ADHD brain got distracted. I love that. We were just talking about lilies, and it says, lilies represent harmony, sexuality, family, purity, and beautiful intimacy, age, peace, balance, being peaceful, and letting relationships mature, bringing life experience without being decisive, and self-development. Do not play the judge and pay attention to harmony. Okay. Definitely feel like that is connected to the Ace of Pentacles. Anyways, sidebar. Let's find this letter in the Letterman's deck. I see the there's some comments on here. I think Indigo Queen's in the building. What up, IQ? Drixie said this, it's sitting on your sofa, you will get to your dreams. You can't just sit on your sofa. Wait, it's sitting on your sofa, you will get to your dreams, you have to chase them. If you're talking about sitting on your sofa, you can't get to your dreams, definitely. I feel what you're saying. I think that's what you're saying. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. But yeah, showing up for them. That's what it's all about. That's right. In whatever ways we can, knowing that it's not gonna always be perfect, you know, like that's a big part of all of it, is like, if you know it, you know, we can have such high hopes for ourselves or for other people, for those we're in relationship with, you know, those that we are inspired by, those that, you know, those that we, you know, work with, you know, are in intimate relationships with, right? And we, when those things fall short, and with ourselves or with others, it's hard to continue sometimes to show up for it, right? And I'm sure we've all had that moment where you're working towards something, but you don't exactly know how to get there, and you're trying, but you feel like you're falling or you're failing. And in that moment of falling and failing, it's difficult to continue to try, because you feel like you are failing, or they're failing, or someone, you know, that it's not possible, when a lot of times it's that it's part of the process of showing up and learning how to make that happen. What does that look like? You know, creating that together with that person, or with yourself, or with whatever it is that you're learning, right? You know, for example, it could be trying to learn a new hobby or craft or instrument or skill, right? And you show up and it's so frustrating, and you said, man, my New Year's resolution was to do this, and now because it was so frustrating, it's like you just give up on the whole thing. And I feel like this card is such an encouraging card, that whether you see this on a personal way, in the way or you see this on a very physical, tangible thing, is just showing up for that process regardless, and practicing it, and continue to come back to that practice, and allowing it to be messy at times, and, you know, to take accountability for yourself where you can, and continue to show up, you know, because that could be, oh man, I got to be honest with myself. I said I was going to do this every day, and now I realize every day is not realistic for me. So let me not just give up and just like pretend it's not happening, and like I didn't make this goal to begin with, but let's actually like pause, hold the phones, and like have a conversation with myself and be like, is this something I really want to do? Yes. Okay. Maybe my goal needs to be more realistic for my current time and space. What does that look like currently? And all of those things, right? That's a way that this energy might be showing up. And that's what's coming through at this moment. So I definitely wanted to share that. So I found a letter. So this could be speaking on how this message might be coming through, ways in which this energy might be connected to. And again, as I said, make sure to take it as it resonates, and how it applies. It says the basic meaning of this is messages, phone calls, emails, SMS, WhatsApp, documents, communication in any form, and as well as superficiality. As the time factor, this card stands for something in the short term and something that is passing us by. It could be news on the way, a love letter, a positive message, superficial relationships, short-lived relationships, or communicative behavior. Do the admin thing, respond to official correspondence, and pay the bills. Do not get distracted. Today, nothing is going to be overlooked. Instead, double-check all messages carefully. Be concentrated. Distinguish between important and unimportant correspondence. Take time for important communication. And don't go over things superficially. In addition, the card can also stand for starting the communication actively instead of waiting for a message to come. Our communication has shifted a lot with technology. As a result, it has become very superficial and at times without commitment. However, maybe even writing a letter to address whatever this topic is could be of importance. Take responsibility for someone or something. So those are all the things that could be related to this energy. If any of that resonated for you, definitely you take a moment, maybe watch this on the playback and re-listen to that long list of things that I shared. And you can, journal on it or continue to reflect on it further. That's an invitation if that's something that resonates to you. But I definitely wanted to share that because I don't use this deck too often. But I think it can always give us insight on maybe some more specific areas in which some of these energies show up. And that's one reason why I do like the Lenormand cards deck. And this one's called Mere Truth. I'll make sure to tag that down below as well. And I have one more card from an oracle deck here for advice, y'all. And this is from the Gods, Goddesses, and Angels, Gods, and Goddesses deck. So, ooh, that was a lot. That was like half the deck. Hold on. One card, please. And let me go ahead and check it on the chat. I saw... shout out to Trixie. Don't worry. I appreciate you being here. Even if your English is not good, I appreciate everyone who shows up on the channel. And you being willing to just be part of this community and share and express yourself. You said, true, sometimes I'm overwhelmed by all the notifications and don't really take the time to answer to people. I completely feel that. I know how that's a hard... Sometimes I be pinning all my messages on my phone. I'll pin them up on my, the top of my iPhone, pin them, and just, leave them there until I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait till my brain is, in admin mode, like the card said, do the admin thing, and try to find, the right time of day, at least once a day, to, go through and just, or if there's certain things I'm like, okay, I need more time to think about it and to process or to figure out what I want to do with this, I'm gonna pin it to the top and come back to it later, because sometimes, I need a moment. A lot of times I need a moment. Okay. We have Goddess of Awakening. I'm going to cover that up real quick. And then we have the Angel of Union. Definitely let me know if you're getting anything from these cards, just from the art that maybe resonates. I love how this one's just bathing in the sun star light. And I love this card too, especially after we're talking about the Three of Cups. It's giving healing energy in regards to the Three of Cups and those different dynamics that we share within ourselves or within the different relationships we carry or places around us, spaces around us, etc., etc. So I'm going to go ahead and read, let's do Goddess of Awakening first. And see, and then we have Angel of Union. Like I said, we'll have on January 15th, Courtney Chambers is going to come and we're going to do another open discussion here at Tea and Tarot. I know last one was a little bit different than usual, but it was really fun to get to open up the dialogue and pull a tarot card with someone else as well. So we did that at the end of our discussion with the one that I had with Mother Venom. So if you haven't checked that out, definitely go look at it after this session. If you're feeling called, if not, no worries. All right. Goddess of Awakening. This is a wondrous time of exploration, romance, and creativity. Regardless of whether you are male or female, your feminine creative spirit is being nourished and awakened by the star of Venus. The goddess of love is activating your sensuous nature. Romance is in the air. So surround yourself with flowers and crystals, wear your favorite perfume or essential oil, and allow your inner charms to surface. This is a wondrous time of exploration, romance, fun, and creativity. A new romance is about to blossom, or an existing relationship is about to enter a new period of renewed magic. That's what I'm talking about. That Three of Cups. Sorry. Excitement and enchantment. Either way, this period of renewed romance will eventually lead you to explore a new creative adventure with your partner. Enjoy. And I always feel like with cards like this and energy like this, like I said, you can really look at it in a very different way. It doesn't have to be a romantic situation, although if that resonates, definitely take that. I ain't blocking no one's blessings. But also it could just be talking about a renewed excitement in a relationship or a way that you view a dynamic within yourself, within how you feel about different beliefs about yourself or how you move and operate. It could be about how, your renewed sense of relationship with your creativity, with your job, with a skill or hobby or something that you're working towards, your vision overall, right? It could be a lot of different things, but also if romance, resonates, then this could also be that too. But I always feel like with those cards, I want to make sure to mention that, the way in which those dynamics could be outside of just a romantic one. Although romance is usually highlighted in cards like this. It could also be a relationship with yourself, or a good friend in your life, or a family member, maybe a parent. Maybe there's a renewed sense of refreshed energy with a parent or someone you had, deep love for, and you're connected in that way, and things, you haven't talked in a while, things like that. Or like I said, a job or creative work might be popping off for y'all too, And a lot of times with these energies, it's one and the same. So you'll see it kind of double dip into multiple areas of our life. So you might see that in a little bit of all the areas, I'm going to take a sip of my tea, and then we're going to read this last one. Is anyone else sipping on any tea? I know I hardly bring tea to Tea and Tarot, but it's been the season for tea for me. So I decided to grab some before this session. The 3 what? Social Adventurers said, sheesh, girl, aggressive so quick. Me? Trixie said, hopefully it will happen. And get a fresh as I like your energy, homegirl. Thank you. Big blessings to you as well. You're drinking yerba mate. Ooh, I love them yerba mates, the little canned ones, but I've also had like real yerba mate, and that stuff is strong. Anyways, okay, Angel of Union. Let's see what this card says. Let's see. I had it open and then I got distracted. I also heard, when does it, something about Uranus entering Gemini? And I definitely feel, in terms of communications, I can definitely feel that. Let's see, Uranus transit right now. Transits 2026. Which means that it would have left Taurus. Okay, it goes into Gemini not until April. So we still got some time. But the bigger planets, I always feel like with bigger planets that are on the outside, because they're further away and take a longer time to transition, you tend to start to feel the shadow of them or the remnants of them, like before and after they transition, if that makes sense. But maybe it's just me. All right, Angel of Union. Let's see what it says. It says a partnership is blessed and destined for greatness. I do love how there's 2 cards that talked about relationships and partnerships and union. So I definitely think for some of us watching this right now and on the playback, this is definitely a message for you specifically and your relationship, if that resonates. It says a merger, partnership, or relationship of some kind is being formed, which holds long-term benefits for your life. This relationship, partnership, or merger, which is with someone you already know or deal with, is blessed and destined for greatness and success of some kind. Many great and wonderful things are birthed as a result of this union, which will continue to grow and strengthen for the rest of your life. Thank the universe for this wonderful blessing. Yes. Thank you. Alrighty, y'all. Those are all the messages for today. Thank you so much for tuning in to Tea and Tarot. I see Social Adventure says that he loves the mint flavored tea. I love mint tea. It's like mint flavored all things when it comes to tea, yerba or not. Love the mint teas. And Drixie said, I will meet Argentinian friend Saturday who introduced me to yerba a few years ago. Yes, the first time I had real yerba was actually in Argentina. And definitely that whole experience and their connection to the plant and yerba mate, I wasn't aware of, to be honest, until I was there. So definitely have a great time with your friends. And yeah, I just want to thank you all again so much for being here and continuing to show up for T and Tarot. We will be back next week from 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And drop a comment down below. Let me know if it resonated. Share with a friend. And I will see you all next week. Peace and much love.